Will silver outperform gold this week? That's the question. Hey everyone, it's Joe. This is your weekly gold, silver, and platinum price analysis brought to you by Ainsley Bullion and the Gold and Silver Standard. Let's get straight into it. Hit the time codes below to go to your favorite metal. You're looking at gold on the weekly time frame, priced in US dollars, and we're using the tradingview.com website. Let's pop on the indicators and have a quick look at where we were last week. Last week's video, last Tuesday, $1,857 roughly. I was suggesting that another red week was coming, and we had this area here of where I think the price might settle at around about. So what have we seen in the last week? Let's go to the daily time frame very quickly. And that was last Tuesday. Here's 1857 up here. And since then we have seen a further dip, not down to the purple box right there, but pretty close. Where do we go from here? Good question. There is room to move down, in my humble opinion, in terms of gold. We'll talk about silver in just a second. I'm also going to take a look at the gold to silver ratio in this video as well. So you can see here we had a low of and a quick wick. This is on the daily time frame. A quick wick down to 1,820 US dollars. Back up now to 1,840 US dollars. I think quite possibly we do need to spend a little bit of time in this area, and that's right here between 1,790 and 1,810 US dollars. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did have a bit more of a longer dip down into this area first before seeing support here, and then potentially back up from there. So that is gold. Of course, the hurdles we need to get over to see higher prices is we need to get through this purple range right here, and that's between 1,880 and $1,900. We tried to break out of it, but it was a failed move after coming down from what seems to be the high so far for this year, 1,960. We had that failed attempt to break out, fast move to the downside. We did not break above this purple rectangular box right here, move down, and let's see where we go from here. But I do think we do need to spend a little bit of time in this area. That's the daily time frame. We can see on the relative strength index we have not hit the bottom yet on the daily time frame in gold. We have not hit the into extremely oversold range just yet. It doesn't mean we have to necessarily, because you do see points where you come close to it but then bounce off. But generally after a large period of time where we're in overbought territory, it does tend to come and visit this area. So I think there is room to move down. We may potentially hit here before we see a bounce back up. But let's take a look on the weekly. And on the weekly time frame, as you can see, we've been talking about, we hit that overbought territory right here before that big dip, so hitting 1960. Well, it was in overbought territory, and then it hit 1960, and then the last couple of weeks have been red pretty much, and we have yet to hit the 50 mark here, the halfway point between overbought or extremely overbought and extremely oversold. I think we have room to move down, at least down to the 50, the halfway point right here. So on balance of probability, and of course not financial advice, etc., but I would suspect possibly in the next couple of weeks, we may see us come down again into this area. We hit it very close here at 1,820 US dollars. Is it close enough for Jazz? Not quite sure, but I'm going to stay bearish in the next couple of weeks, at least for gold. And if we do have a couple of green weeks back up to this area, that's the area of resistance I'm looking at here, again between 1,880 and $1,900, where you're definitely going to see some area of resistance in the next few weeks if we just do track back up from here. That is gold. Let's take a look at silver on the weekly time frame. A green week so far. On the relative strength index, what you can see is we've had a sharp move down. Again, we have been talking about the second attempt right here, third attempt right here, failed to break out, fast move to the downside. And in silver, we definitely have come into my purple box range right here, not all the way to the bottom, but very solidly into that range of what I have been speaking about for the last couple of weeks, between your $21 and $22 range. Technically, it was a low on this particular index at $21.20 roughly. Similar to gold, we had a quick wick down and a big move back up. I would expect, and I think, as I said, I'm going to probably entitle this video something like "Will Silver Outperform Gold?" And that's at least in the next few weeks. I have a good suspicion that that silver will outperform gold at least in the next couple of weeks. I could see it easily, very easily, having a bounce up at least to this area here. I'll show you. This is again, this is in US dollars, to around about this area here. I think you're going to find some resistance right there at around about $22.50. The thing I would suggest that you look out for, if we do see this here at $22.50 as resistance, is coming back down and then forming what could be a head and shoulders pattern, where you've got a shoulder here, the head here, and then is that a shoulder? And if that does play out, then you would see further price decline. But I do think, on balance of probability, possibly more of a green week for silver than for gold. So I do think silver will outperform gold in the next couple of weeks, and that is based on the gold to silver ratio as well. Actually, let me go back. My apologies. Let me go back. That was the relative strength index on the weekly time frame. As you can see, we have yet to hit this little area of 44. I can see that as a level of support. I don't know if you can see that, but I think that is roughly there. We've come down through the halfway point, the 50 level right there. So I think there is a little bit more room to move down, but let's have a look on the daily time frame, which is very interesting because we have hit oversold and right on the money too. So the relative strength index, a lot of people do find it a useful metric, and they do find it useful for trading. So that's why you do see bounces, very regularly bounces off of the oversold area here, particularly on that line right there around about your 30 level. Sometimes it does go underneath, but that's a very key area here, this 30 level on the relative strength index. Clear bounce off there. Do we continue higher in the next few days and few weeks? Remains to be seen, of course, but I do think silver will outperform gold. No matter where the prices go, whether it's up or down, silver will outperform gold in the next few weeks. And that is due to the gold to silver ratio. Right here you can see it has topped out in the, I guess, the quote-unquote overbought area for the gold to silver ratio. So there is room to move down. We could certainly just keep going and gold could continue to outperform silver as it has been doing since, let's see, the end of the year, so the start of this year. Gold has been outperforming gold has been outperforming silver in general, but I think there's now room to move down. So I do think, and I'm going to say it for now, that in the next couple of weeks, it's my call. Here is the gold to silver ratio on the weekly time frame. My call, and of course not financial advice, is we are going to see silver outperform gold in the next few weeks. I would say at least 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, and I think we're going to come down into this little rectangular box right here, somewhere between your 80.5 to your 82.2 area. I think you can see that very clearly as a support level. So silver to outperform gold in terms of its ratio in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, I could be completely wrong and not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion, not the opinion of Ainsley itself. So that is gold and that is silver. It's a gold to silver ratio. Let's finally look at platinum. And platinum did not do what I thought it might do. Let's have a look here. So I had a feeling, I had a thought that because we had seen a good start to the week, a green week starting, and it was just the first trading day, basically that we might see higher prices from there, because we had come down here, if you can see, we had come down here all the way right on the money to the bottom of my rectangular box channel right here, and I thought, maybe another week or so of higher prices for platinum. That was very quickly denied, and let's have a quick look at that. This is on the weekly time frame. As you can see right here, it was very quickly, we came back up to 960 and then a huge wick down, all the way down through the rectangular area, and a low of a low of $910, which, if you remember in this video from last week, I did say was going to be an little interim level of support before the big support level here at $900. Go back, I'll put a link above to this video right now, or you can just go find it on the YouTube channel if you need proof that I actually said that, but I did. So 1,910 so far as a level of support. Let's have a look at the relative strength index on the weekly time frame. And you can see that we are still tracking down. We are past the halfway point, so we're getting into your oversold territory, but definitely room to move down. And this is the weekly time frame we've had in the last day. Let's see. So we've had a move up to, right, a little spike all the way back up to, or into this rectangular box area, a spike up to $940 roughly. So as you can see here, my previous range here was between $940 to $960. As I said before, we did hit that. It was looking like it was going to be a green week, but interestingly, look at that, it hit there, and this is when I called it. We might see higher prices, and then they did go a little bit higher, and it found resistance at the top of the rectangular box range. So right trading within the exact ranges of 940 to 960, failed attempt to break out, fast move to the downside and hit that $910 sort of interim support level that I mentioned last week. Big question is, where do we go from here? Of course, not financial advice, etc. Do take note that we are currently, and we have on the daily time frame, headed into oversold territory. So you are starting to look at a level of support. It would not surprise me if we do have a touchdown though of the $900 level. I think that's a big support level in my humble opinion. And of course, there have certainly been times with platinum where you do go into extra oversold right there. So you can see certainly points. If you can see down here, this is here back in June of 2021, a little bit of extra oversold in August. So there are periods where it does dip below. We have technically had a dip and we're back above it, but a little quick movement down to 900 wouldn't surprise me. So if we do keep that level as support, then I would be more confident in saying that in the next few weeks and few months, then we would see higher prices. Breaking down further from 900, my next support level is right here at your $820 level, but we'll see what happens next week. Of course, you get a weekly price analysis from me. And moving higher, let's have a quick look on the weekly time frame. As I said, we can move down further in the relative strength index. Technically a green week, but it is the first trading day, or the second trading day, I think it is. So room to have a red week, a bit more of a red week, but you do really want to see that $900 level hold as support. So that remains to be seen. I will leave platinum where it is for now. That's my opinion on gold. That's my opinion on silver. I do think silver will outperform gold this week and next week, quite possibly, again, due to the gold to silver ratio right there. Tell me what you think. Do you agree? Do you think silver will outperform gold in the next couple of weeks? Post a comment below. Always want to hear from the viewers, and we like differing opinions as well. So make sure you do post a comment. If you even just want to give me some ideas of technical indicators that you like to use that you find predictive over longer periods of time, whether that be Elliott wave or any other particular Ichimoku cloud or anything like that. What do you use for technical analysis? I'd love to hear your opinion, and you never know, I may start to integrate that into my own. So gold, silver, platinum. Silver to outperform gold in the next couple of weeks. Hit the big red subscribe button on YouTube, of course, and join us next week for another Gold, Silver Standard and Ainsley Bullion presented technical analysis. Thanks as always, and as always, thanks for choosing Ainsley.